Good evening, and thanks once again for joining us. Night number 3 at Auto Club Speedway. We've got some Xfinity Series action for you for week number 10. I'm Greg Olenek, joined by Curtis Swadsworth, as always, here on Thursday nights. Curtis, how's it going, man? It's going to be a great 80-lap race here out in California tonight.
What's going on, Greg? Yeah, super excited for tonight's Auto Club. One of my favorite tracks. Really happy with the NASCAR announcement after the race this season that they were not planning on tearing it down after they thought about tearing it down to a short track. So love this, the racing style and all the different grooves and the way people make passes, and it's very entertaining, and I think we're going to see a lot of entertainment tonight on the track as well.
Yeah, it's a great big 2-mile oval out here in Fontana, California. And under the lights, once again, we've been running it all week for the Cup Series race on Tuesday and the Truck Series race last night. A great finish between Bo Tiffany and Ben Park. Ben will be in this race tonight in that number 23 Tank Racing Ford Mustang, so keep an eye out for him. Maybe he's looking to grab that win that he missed out on last night. So let's go ahead, move on. We're going to go ahead and get to it before qualifying is over and check out the Speed Racing Network point standings. And there it is, Seth Reed still with a healthy lead, 16 points ahead of Kyle Benson, both 2 wins to their name. Then you got Jacob Nanning in third, just 1 point behind Kyle Benson. Then Drew Ballesteros with a win to his name as well, sitting there fourth. And you got Seth Berger rounding out the top 5. But this is one of the tightest battles that we have here in Speed Racing Network, and it's a 1-point gap between Nathan De La Rosa and Brandon Domain, so the cut line ever so thin here. And you got Gerwitz Larch just 7 points up, and Causey with 2 wins to his name now in the top 15 after joining the season a little late. So big shakeup after last week, Curtis.
Yeah, huge shift. I mean, like you were saying for the points, Seth Reed, he's been super dominant, super consistent. He's got those 2 wins. There's a lot of guys that are floating below the top 15 that we would typically see in the top 15. So there's a few of them that I think need to make that switch in their mind and really start making the push towards the end of this season, because we're running out of races here to get up into this top 15.
Yeah, and I mean, you see names like you said, Kyle Speed's there in 6th, Tristan Bailey, who has a potential shot at winning this race here tonight, looking very fast here in practice. Max Service, who's just had a very consistent season, quietly sitting there in 8th, ready to strike once these playoffs start. And Sylvia with a great showing here this year. And James Shamble is going to round out your top 10. But let's go ahead and move on. Check out the rest of the guys sitting behind the cut. And you can see it's even close back here, too. Matthew Robinson out of JW Racing sitting 3 points back of the cut line. Tyler Murray sitting 4 out. Bo Tiffany, last night's winner, sitting 12 out. He could be finding a good run here tonight, helping his cause get to the top 15. And then Chris Bishop rounding out the top 20, just 18 points out. This is just such a crazy tight race right here with 4 races left before the playoffs.
Yeah, there's, I mean, within that probably all the way down to the mid-20s, even late 20s, all the way down to 30 almost. You could imagine these guys still make it to the playoffs. With as many races we have left, you can still make up a good amount of points. One driver having a bad race that's at the bottom of the top 15 could easily be passed up by somebody who's down here in the 20s if they have really consistent races over the next several races to get up in there. And there's, like I said earlier, there's multiple drivers down here that I would normally think would be up there. Bo Tiffany's one of them. James Kerr. I mean, there's multiple drivers down through this list. Logan Truitt down there. I mean, guys just that are not having good races, and it's not so much on their end. It's just getting caught up in something, or just simple mistakes, things like that. Whether it's their end or somebody else's end getting caught up, and it really struggles. You just have a bad season, and right now that's what I was saying about the switch, flipping that switch or turning the hat around or whatever you got to do to get back into the season and really make up those points.
Yeah, you're right. Logan Truitt started fifth last week, showed great speed at Dover Motor Speedway, comes home in 24th, not the night that he wanted. So he's going to look to maybe bring it home here this evening and get a complete run here tonight. So we will see exactly what happens. Everybody's still in this. I mean, we have 40 cars here tonight, so everybody's still making a run at making that top 15 because anything can happen. So checking out the team championship standings, week 9 of 20 here, or yeah, after week 9 of 20, excuse me. JW Racing, Tank Racing, that battle getting really tight now, 18 points separating the 1 and 2 seed. Murray Reedy Motorsports also in this as well, sitting 70 points behind the leader. And Highline not too far out either in the 4th seed, just 110. This is really a battle between the top 5, I would say, for that 1 seed. It's not over by any means.
Yeah, with this, I mean, Tank Racing's really closed in over the last couple weeks. JW Racing has had some bad weeks the last couple weeks. And I know that there's, the running jokes that the broadcaster's curse has struck. Last week I didn't pick a specific driver. I just said the entire team, and apparently the whole team had bad races. So I will not be selecting anybody from JW Racing this week to see if that changes for them, to see if there really is a curse or not. So, but yeah, Murray Reedy, I mean, that they're closing in the gap as well. Even Highline's made up some points with JW Racing struggling in the last couple weeks, and Tank Racing is, I mean, they're hot on their heels. They're coming. They've gotten a couple wins. I mean, it's really tightening up for first and second, third, fourth, even. I guess fifth could really be into the mix too for fourth and third as well.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and it's going to be really interesting to see here tonight because both of those teams looking pretty fast in practice. So we'll keep an eye on these standings here throughout tonight's race and maybe see some familiar names up towards the front. So we got about 3 minutes before qualifying's over, and we'll get out there to the track for the start of this race. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and check out the sponsors here. As always, got Silverback Tax Solutions. If you got any issues with the IRS, go check them out. Sean Griffith will get you all fixed up and headed in the right direction. Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. Look at that car looking really good, which is what we all need this time of year with all that pollen out there. Butt Kicker coming on board this year, the sponsor of the Hard Charger Award. As always, we'll get to those standings in just a second. And TJ's Team Foundation at morethanAcape.org. They're sponsoring our winning moment. So we'll be talking about them a lot here tonight. So Butt Kicker coming on board, like I said, to hand out one of these bad boys, a game or two going to the winner of that Hard Charger Award in each series. So right now, Kyle Spees leading the way with an average positions gained of 15.5. Taylor Smith there in second at 12.38, and Jack Hedgecock's sitting in third. So looking pretty good so far here, Curtis, and not over by any means here at the top.
No, definitely not. Kyle Spees, I mean, he's lost a few positions because he qualified last week pretty well. This week, it doesn't look like he's going to end up qualifying, so he's going to have a chance to go back up through the field, and that's what he's done every week is he's always started at the back and kind of come through, and he's had really good finishes. He's come up through the points, the standings, and then with this award here, I mean, it just helps him so much when he starts back in the 30s. We have 40 guys on track, and he starts back in the mid-30s and ends up in the top 10. I mean, you're looking at a 20 position gain right there, so that's where it's all coming from. Taylor, I mean, he's been making up some points on Kyle with him qualifying last week and doing a little bit better in qualifying as well. But this week, I'm seeing Kyle already.
Yep.
Actually, never mind. Both of them are not qualifying, and they're at the bottom of the pile. So
Yep.
it looks like they're kind of both going for that.
Yeah, so 1 minute before we get out there, Curtis, and check out the power rankings sponsored by Silverback Tax Solutions, and Seth Reed still sitting there at the top after a top 5 last week at Dover. Kyle Benson, though, really close to maybe passing him one of these weeks if he can keep up his stellar performance. Jacob Manning, Kyle Spees, and Joseph Causey now up here in the top 10. That's going to round out the top 5. This is just such a talented field of Xfinity Series drivers. Any one of these names can be any of these slots.
Yeah, absolutely. Top 4 doesn't change, but I would really be watching for that 5th position. Joseph Causey had been on a roll, 2 wins, 3 top 5s, wasn't even ranked last week. So jumping all the way over everybody at the bottom and going straight to number 5, that's a huge jump. So And there's still big names that are left over on the bottom of the list, and a lot of names that are not even on this list yet. So
Yep.
this list is going to keep changing and fluctuating every single week, but there are so many good drivers on this list already.
Yeah, so got to thank Sean Griffith for coming out with these each and every week. He loves doing these and shaking up a little bit here as always. So qualifying looks like it is over. Let's head on out there to the blimp high above Auto Club Speedway. There you see it, race number 20. Nice, calm evening. 2-mile-an-hour winds over 78 degrees. 104-degree track temperature, though. That just goes to show probably how hot it was out there today to still be that warm during the evening hours. So, yeah, it's going to be maybe a little bit slippery out there this evening, Curtis.
Yeah, this track, I mean, it's so nice to have this track. I can't believe they even contemplated on getting rid of it and turning it into a short track. I know that's NASCAR's, direction, but I love this track so much. I don't remember where you just stopped.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. It's a beautiful facility that we're going to get one more crack at here tonight. Night number 3, like I said, of week number 10. Tristan Bailey, like I said, also having some speed here tonight. He's on the pole. James Shanewolf to his outside there. Jacob Manning, Drew Ballesteros, row number 2. So 3 JW Racing hot rods in the first 2 rows. Craig Lautenslager and Josh Marcy in row number 3. Then you got Joseph Causey, Brandon Richardson in row 4. Ben Park, Kyle Benson, row 5. And Max Service and Michael Larch in row number 6. So it's going to be a really good field here tonight, just going through it a little bit more. And Curtis, you're not too familiar with this guy, but Daniel Bowdler sitting there in 21st. He's one of the higher win totals in SRN. This guy knows how to get around here in this league, making his debut here in Season 3. So it's going to be exciting to get to watch him tonight, and you'll get to know him here tonight, Curtis. So look forward to that.
You're saying we have a ringer in the field tonight, then?
Hey, potentially, yeah. He had the birth of his child come up not too long ago. Yeah, so maybe he's been a little bit busy with his newborn, so good to see him back out here tonight. So as always, Curtis, let's get down to business here as the field starts to pull off pit road. What are you thinking about picking tonight?
I don't know. I'm not allowed to pick anybody from JW Racing. Like I said, I'm not going to pick them. So try to take that jinx off of them and see if it helps them here. 3 guys in the top 4. That's hard not to pick one of them, but I don't think that boded well for them last time we saw that many in the top 5.
I just pick them.
Nah, I'm gonna go different. Oh, come on. I'm floating between Seth Berger and probably Kazi, the 2 that I'm watching the most. So I'll go with those 2.
All right, well, you're going to take one of my guys. That is fine. I'm going to go ahead and take the guy out in front. I'm going to take Tristan Bailey here tonight. He gets his first win of the season. He is going to be needing it, too, as that cut line getting very tight. He needs to get further on ahead with 4 weeks left to go. That is my pick tonight. Good looking. Number 88, sponsored by TJ's team. So, yeah, go ahead, check them out. morethanAcape.org, helping families that are battling pediatric cancer. So putting them on the spot here tonight as the pace car getting ready to turn down pit road. There it goes. The field waiting to see that green flag wave to start this evening's race. There you see it in the hands, and it is going to be waving here. We're green at Auto Club.
And these guys are going to get up to speed and get through those gears as quickly as possible to get into turn 1. You're going to see Tristan probably try to go down to the line. You might see the 53 try to stay up towards that middle. I don't think anybody will go up to the high line this early, but you'll see that 53 try to make up some ground as he gets a little loose coming off that corner. That's what I was afraid of with that middle line. Tristan able to hold it down there, and they start single filing as they go down the backstretch, Greg.
Yeah, you and I both know as former racers here, you got to be careful on cold tires at Auto Club, especially here on these low downforce B-Class cars, also known as the Xfinity Series cars. They can get really loose on you here on the exit of these turns at the first couple laps, so these guys are being very gentle right now. Further on back, battle back here.
This is actually looking really good here.
Yeah, looks like Causey in this mix as well as his teammate Max Service. Ben Park going on by to pick up 3 spots in that first lap. He's up to 6th.
Yeah, there's some big movers coming from the back, though. Nathan Sylvia already up +4 within the first 2 laps. Logan Joyner back there in the 3 car. We haven't seen him really make some moves, but he's up 4 positions as well. Nathan De La Rosa up 5 positions back there in the 29th spot. And then obviously the 2 guys who we saw sit back there and not qualify, they're still sitting back there now. Taylor Smith back in 40th and Kyle Spees still 38. So hopefully Grandma is not watching right now and doesn't get on to me for talking about him being 38.
She's definitely watching. Sue is always out there in the chat. But you mentioned, you're right, Logan Joyner already up 4 positions and is definitely looking to pick up a few more. Just ahead of him, that's the driver that I mentioned earlier, Daniel Bowdler, now out here. He's already picking up a few spots, up to +3 here, up to 18th after starting in the 21st position. So great to see him out here in the number 6 as always. But back up front, Tristan Bailey getting out to about a 2, maybe 3 car gap over the 50, and 3 JW Racing cars looking to get by him and maybe take the lead here.
Yeah, Tristan's just kind of running laps. He doesn't look like he's really trying to do a whole lot up there, but Jarrett Manning trying to make some passes. 53 of Shane Wolf also trying to move up through as well. He's down 1 spot already to his teammate Jacob Manning. Those 3 there are trying to team up to try to get past the Tristan Bailey, but they're towing Craig Lossenslag right now too.
Yeah, taking a look at Nathan Sylvia, making a look to the inside of Brandon Richardson, trying to pick up that 11th position as he's on the move to the front, already up +6 from where he began the night. And Daniel Dow up +11. He looked pretty fast out there in practice, started in the back at 35th. He's sitting up in 24th already and looking to make a few more spots up as he's got a bunch of cars around him currently. Great racing all around this track.
Yeah, like I said, there's a bunch of guys making moves here. Sylvia now up 7 positions, about to crack the top 10. That's a lot of positions in these very few minimum laps here to already be going through there. The problem is if he's really running that much faster and using a lot more wheel and really cranking it, then he's going to be hurting those tires. Or is he just getting lucky and making passes where the draft is helping him pull down the straightaway, or some guys are getting loose or getting up out of the groove and he's able to get past them. But I mean, if he's really cranking that wheel and really laying down the laps trying to make up positions, I'm afraid that's going to hurt him in the long run.
Well, taking a look at Danny Dow as he's to the inside of Dylan Patterson, who had a great run last week at Dover. I'm taking a look here. He's got some big-time damage on the front of that number 8, so a tough night starting off already for Dylan Patterson, who's mired pretty far back in the points already. He cannot afford a night that is bad here with 4 weeks left to go. So going to need to get that fixed here, but can only really do so under caution.
Yeah, that 21, I mean, he looks really fast right now. He's running some pretty nice laps, actually. I mean, he's running almost the same lap time as Tristan Bailey out front. And actually, he just ran a 386, which is, I mean, he's 4/100ths off of Tristan's time. So some of these really fast cars that started towards the back, they're going to make their way up here. We're seeing it already. I'm just really concerned with the tires. Auto Club really does hurt those tires after a very long run. And then actually the tires, it's not that they get better, but they actually feel better late in a run. It's just the way the track feels. But that first couple of laps where it's real loose and real slick like ice, and then about midway through the run, it gets really loose on you. That's what I'm kind of worried with those guys trying to make passes. And a lot of guys will wait and they'll save tire and they'll come right back by him after those guys, pushed really hard to get past a lot of guys early on in the race.
The battle heating up towards the front. Jacob Manning going to the outside of the 88. Oh, I got to be careful not to get into the wall there. The 50 stays off of it. I thought for sure he was going to get a little piece of it, but keeps that momentum all the way down this very long backstretch, which is huge because if you don't get it, you're going to be falling back a lot. But so far, Tristan Bailey holding on to that lead, but these JW Racing cars looking real hungry right now.
Yeah, and they're swarming on the 88. I mean, it's like sharks coming after a wounded fish right here. There's nothing wrong with Tristan's car, but there's 3 teammates that are helping and drafting with each other, trying to do everything they can to get by Tristan. I'm sure JW Racing would love nothing more to finish 1, 2, 3 at the end of the night. But Tristan has been really consistent. He was really fast in practice. I think he was in the top 3 in the practice. So they're going to have their hands full versus Tristan. 3 against 1 is a little hard to defend, though.
Yeah, and like I said, Tristan is a former winner. He's won here in SRN, knows how hard it is to get these races, especially with a talented field like we have here in the Xfinity Series. So he is going to be battling up here, track position, everything here at Fontana so far, holding his own, running that higher lane than the 50, able to get that big run all the way down the front stretch here and kind of starting to feel it out, maybe holding off the attack so far. But maybe JW Racing's just waiting to strike again as the 50 starting to run a little higher here. He's going to try and get the run down the backstretch.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised those 3 with towing the 99 of Craig lost. I don't even know how to say that one, so I don't mess it up. But I thought I said it right the first time. Yep. But yeah, with them towing him, I'm surprised that they don't move up out of the groove, since Tristan seems to enjoy running that bottom line and run, half a groove or 1 groove up and just draft together and try to go by Tristan. 3-4 cars in a row definitely are going to pass that 88. They almost bumped there. If they didn't, it was super close. But a little bit of a door check there.
It's kind of weird coming here because it is one of the wider surfaces on the NASCAR circuit. As you're going to see a slide job here potentially from the 50, just sends it in there, but it's going to give the 88 the run out of 2. They're going to go side by side all the way down the back straightaway. Taking another look, you can see the run that the 88 gets all the way down the back stretch, and I think he might be able to clear the 50, and he does as they go down in turn number 3.
Yeah, that was a really nice crossover by Tristan. Didn't panic, didn't freak out or nothing about the slide job. Just crossed them right back over and went right back by him. I'm kind of surprised that the 54 and 53 didn't just get right in line behind the 50 and push him past the 88 on the outside. But yeah, they're side by side. That's where I'm kind of confused. I know they're probably all wanting to lead the race, but the only way for any of them to lead is to get by Tristan. So I'm surprised the 3 of them are not helping each other a little bit more with staying in line instead of the side by side action. That's going to allow Tristan to pull from them. So that's not what you want. You definitely don't want Tristan to get out in front of you and get a lead, because then his mind, he's got one of the most strategic minds. He's always thinking and calculating in his mind as he's driving. So you don't want him to get out there and try to figure out a way to beat you without even having to pass him or nothing. So I wouldn't do that.
Well, the 54 of Drew Ballesteros going to take a stab potentially at the 88, see if he can run him back down from this quarter second of a gap here. Maybe make a stab at making the pass here as Jacob Manning may be cooling his stuff off for the time being. Here comes that 54 right to the bumper of the 88. He's going to look to maybe make a move here if he can get a big enough run. Yeah, they're kind of falling off behind him, Shane Wolf and Manning, so maybe just saving their stuff for the time being while Ballesteros tries to go to work on the 88.
The way the 50 and 53 were just linked there, that's what they need to be when they're right up against Tristan, to push one of them out past him. Once they do that, then the rest of them can do the same thing again. You just keep leapfrogging, going past Tristan by pushing the next guy. That's where I was talking about with the teamwork. What's funny to me is the 99 doesn't really, either he doesn't have the same speed or he's just being extremely patient. I actually really respect that, really like that. He's not pushing the issue. It's early into the race. He's just running his laps, knocking off as many laps as possible before, green flag stops, things like that really start to play strategy, and things like, those kind of things that happen on track. He's just kind of sitting back here, just watching to see what these guys are doing. He's not, hurting his tires or trying to make passes, going side by side, nothing like that. He's just kind of watching and learning is what I would probably guess.
Yeah, I mean, Auto Club, one of the bigger tracks, one of the longer races on the season. 80 laps here at a big 2-mile oval like this one in Fontana can take a while, so you're right, maybe just biding his time. They're probably about halfway through a run. Should be a 2-stop race if this thing does in fact stay green the whole time. So if they start to get that feel, we'll see if anybody makes a stab at potentially coming down pit road and maybe short pitting here to pick up some time, because like I said, at a 40-second lap, you can really start losing some time, and it can really hurt you if you stay out longer than these guys on fresh tires. So we'll be looking out to see what that strategy is here tonight, Curtis.
Yeah, you're not going to want to come too early, but you're going to want to try to beat the other guy to pit road. If you can be out there maybe a lap or two before that person pits, you'll gain a lot of time. There's a lot of fall off. I mean, even right now, we're almost 2 seconds off of the original pace that these guys are running, the 41.8s. They're running 41.3, 41.2s, that kind of time right now. So you're looking at almost a 2-second fall off, and we're only 16 laps into a run. We still got maybe 15 laps on this run, if possible. So, yeah, I would be the person that would probably conserve tires to start with, like Craig's doing. I really think he's conserving, and he's just sitting back here learning as much as he can from all four of these drivers. These guys are all pretty much drivers we see in the top 10 week in and week out. Craig's not somebody I don't even know if I've seen the 99. This might be his first race, but I haven't really seen him. So I would sit back and learn from these four as much as possible early on in this race like this.
Yeah, Craig is part-time here in the SRN. Never won here, but does run pretty well. Taking a look, though, Matthew Robinson having a good evening so far, up 3, making a look to the outside of Nathan Sylvia there, moving him up to 12th if he can complete that pass. But take a look at the graphic there that's been on the right side of your screen. He's one of those drivers, that is below the cut line, sitting just 3 points out. So a night like this could be huge for him, especially with Nathan De La Rosa sitting back in 24th. And then you got Aaron Gerwitz also a little further on back there, sitting in 23rd. So this could be a night for these guys to come up and maybe make a little splash and get them in the top 15. So, hey, 51, keep moving in the right direction. You could be sitting in that green here next week.
Well, I'll say this, too. If Grandma Stu's watching, Kyle is making his move. I think he was laying back. I think he was kind of conserving tire. He's up 9 positions now, so he's broke into the 20s. Jovi Ray's also up 11. Nathan De La Rosa up 10. I think those are the biggest movers. So there's a lot of guys coming from the back that, I mean, Gerwitz is one of them. You've seen him break into the points now. He's up there. De La Rosa's coming from the back as well. I think Stu's probably happy now.
She's definitely watching. She's chimed in the chat, and we're taking a look at Kyle Spees. He's up in 28th after starting the night in 37th. Plenty of time for this 25 to get further on up in the field, so we'll keep an eye on his progress throughout the whole night. Tristan Bailey still holding on to that about 2 to 3 car gap between him and that 54, but look, everybody else behind them is kind of falling off, but a newcomer is showing his face now. Joseph Causey up to 3rd after starting 7th.
I was wondering when Causey would show up. That's why I think a lot of guys come out here and they just try to run as fast as they possibly can, and it really hurts the tires on some of these tracks. There's a lot of tracks where you just gotta, baby it. I see out in the chat Connor saying that, he would, hold off and save tire and let the track come to him. That would be my strategy. I wouldn't go out here and try to run as fast as possible and try to make as many positions as possible. This isn't one of those tracks where you just, try to go grab as many positions as possible and then everything kind of, stalls and you just wait for the next green flag stop to happen. This is one of those tracks where you want to kind of conserve. I mean, you still want to run fast, but you want to conserve and you want to wait and then start making moves. And we're seeing a lot of guys start making moves now.
Yeah, one of those guys is Max Service to the inside of the falling back Jacob Manning. You can see the blue car of James Shamewolf also back here in the mix too, and Craig Lonslogger. So these guys were the ones that were running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th there for a while. They're back in 6th, 8th, and 9th place now, so starting to fall back. Might have used their stuff up a little bit too much, but plenty of time to maybe regain some ground. So 2-time winner Kyle Benson, who started the evening in 10th, up to 6th place already. He's the next one to maybe make a pass on that 50, move the 10 on by. He's going to move into the top 5. If he can, he gets right into the bumper, goes right into the wall. Brandon Richardson also a big hit to that 29. That 10 is done.
Yeah, that 10's missing the whole front bumper.
Go ahead, check out that Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing rec replay. See if I can go ahead and cue it up.
Yeah, that's not the look you want on that 10 car. So I know he was pretty vocal in the chat saying he was going to get wrecked tonight, trying to maybe put that negative sense on his car so that he didn't get wrecked.
Yep.
Do the opposite.
The reverse. Juju.
I didn't pick you, Kyle, so this one ain't on me, bud.
Yeah, neither of us picked him. I joked with him saying I would do it, and now he's really going to think I did. But no, just kind of got tight there on exit, and that both cars, he washed up a little bit. I think that one's going to go on Kyle Benson there. I don't think they will put that on Jacob Manning, but we'll find out here soon once the race admins come up with the decision. But yeah, we saw it happen live, and not much really to check out other than that. What we're seeing right here.
Brandon Richardson. Or no, he was given an EOL.
Brandon Richardson was caught up in that a little.
He might have been caught up in it and had to give the EOL, so he didn't
get
anybody in trouble. But yeah, Kyle's he's probably not going to be happy. But this one, I mean, looking at the replay, it definitely he washes up a little bit. There's nothing the outside car could really do. He didn't. It's not like he did it on purpose. He didn't come down on him or nothing. Kyle just slid up the track just a little bit.
One of those racing incidents.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if they give an EOL penalty or anything like that.
No, I 100% agree. They're actually going to put that on Jacob Manning. I am always wrong when it comes to these EOL penalties, and it's kind of funny. Sean Griffith usually gives me a hard time, but there you go. 50 getting that EOL. He's going to go on to the back of the longest line. So tough break there for the 50, but a bigger break there for the 10, whose night is likely over here this evening.
I know we're not supposed to second guess people in charge, but I'd probably second guess that one. I don't know. That one, oof. If I was Jacob, I'd be a little upset right now.
Yeah, plenty of time, like I keep saying, to make it up, though. He's got a fast hot rod. He will still be around, but he also got some damage from that, too. So he's got to stay around and get that fixed with an extended 50-second long pit stop there. So gets it all fixed up, comes back out. Would be starting in the back anyway, so not too much damage to his night. Seth Berger staying out, I believe, to maybe lead a lap here to get him one of those bonus points.
I'm looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he was getting that bonus point, which I keep preaching to everybody that it is vital if you want to make a run in these playoffs. The 77 taking that here to heart tonight. Also, like I keep saying, plenty of time to get back up towards the front. That 77 going to make a hard charge up and see if he can get up there. So he's making his pit stop here. That's going to cycle the lead back out to the 88 of Tristan Bailey with the pace car lights off.
Yeah, I mean, the bonus points, they almost mean more than a win. I mean, yeah, you want to finish in the top 10 every race, but you don't necessarily have to have the win to really be in the points standings. Gathering those bonus points, those are the extra points that guys can't get if you get them. So if you can grab as many as you can, leading a lap, leading the most laps, whatever you want to do, I think there's a bonus point for 0 incidents as well. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to gather up those extra bonus points that help you so much in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and I'm just now realizing a familiar name that we're used to seeing not in the field tonight. Not sure if you noticed this, Curtis, but Seth Reed.
Oh, I noticed
here.
it.
Yeah, he's not here.
I was looking for him in practice to see how fast he was, so if I could pick him.
Made a nice fancy graphic for him and won't even get to use it tonight now. So Seth, hope everything's all right. Missing you out here tonight, but taking a look at the top 10 before they go green. You got Tristan Bailey, Joseph Ghazi, Max Service, Craig Lautenslager, Drew Ballesteros, followed by Ben Park, Matthew Robinson, Daniel Bowdler up to 8th, Dave Hughes Jr., and Logan Joyner just before the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag comes out, and Tristan Bailey gets him going here at Auto Club.
Oh, Tristan got an amazing jump on that one. These restarts are difficult. Guys are just not ready for the leader to go, and I mean it happens almost every restart where the guy just gets a massive jump, and the guys that are not the leader, they can't be on the ready like the leader can, because the leader is the one that sets it all off. The leader can roll into it and start building up speed and then go. The other guys have to kind of stab that gas pedal and then start getting through the gears to go, and a lot of times you have spinning tires on old tires, or you get the gap like Tristan got. And I mean, he got a really good jump going into turn 1.
Yeah, well, one that we almost saw spinning there at 36, and Nathan Sylvia almost taking a turn there through the infield. But just look at all these cars here. A huge field for week number 10 here in the Xfinity Series, led by the 88 of Tristan Bailey. But don't count out that 42, who is slowly making his way up towards the front. He won last week at Dover. He won Tuesday night in the Cup Series race. Look for him to maybe do the same thing here tonight as he's making some great progress. But man, take a look at this 89 of Max Service, also just quietly making his way up to the front, up +7 as he's running right now in fourth. If he can complete the pass here on Craig Lautenschlager, that'll move him up to third and put him at +8. So the 89 looking real fast.
Yeah, there's a few different guys that are moving up through. We saw back there in the top 15, Nathan De La Rosa up 20, Jovi Ray up 21. Those two are the biggest movers right there. Also with Kyle Spees and Emerson Arden right there at 20 as well. So that group right there of 4 drivers within 14th to 18th are all coming from the back. And then you got Logan Joyner up 15th, Daniel Balder up 14. But this front is pretty much consistently the same guys other than the 3 that we saw disappear.
Kind of saw the 54 just send it in there as he was trying to make the pass on the 89 and the 99, but loses the momentum out of turn 4. Now he's going to have his hands full as they're 3 wide down the front stretch. It's Ben Park in the middle of this sandwich with Matthew Robinson. Daniel Ballard, it was outside. They made contact, but not too bad. They're going to keep it going through 1 and 2.
That was really close. I thought either the 51 was going to come up sliding or that 23 was going to slide up into the 6, and I think they definitely made contact, but both of them able to save it. That's not a spot in the track where you want to make contact because it can definitely loosen the rear end and send you around spinning, and I think Logan Joyner might have been puckering just a little bit as he saw those guys sliding up the track.
Yeah, you see him just behind the 6 in that 3 car. A number that we love seeing out there on the track. He's the Season 1 winner here, though, in the Xfinity Series, and still within reach of maybe making a run towards these playoffs. He can get hot at any moment in the season, so he's making a good run here tonight, though. But got Lucas Lyons now battling him to the outside. This is an awesome battle here from about 7th on back to 10th. This is big time.
Yeah, and out front you got Kazi. He just tried to make a move on Bailey. Unsuccessful. Slid back behind Bailey again. Tried to get out far enough in front of him to get out and slide it in front of him, but Bailey able to stick right to the right quarter panel and not allow Kazi to slide up in front of him. And then Kazi kind of stalled out in the corner, and Bailey went right back around him with the momentum.
All right, so they're going to still try and keep attacking. The 88 sitting out here in front, but they're all single file, about 1st on back to 10th place now. And the battles will be thickening up about a little further on back in the pack. This is Dave Hughes Jr. Ooh, gets real tight there with the 46. They almost make contact, and that's going to give a big run to that 66 of Nathan De La Rosa down the backstretch. He's going to pick up a spot and move up to 12th. One of those drivers that we mentioned sitting right on the cut line. He's +1, that 15th driver right now, so making a good effort moving back up to the front. He's +22 on the evening, and actually currently our butt kicker hard charger so far. So Nathan getting it going here tonight in this Glitch Energy number 66.
And I'm still watching through the field to see some of these guys that we saw up front. Jacob Manning being one of them. He got a little bit of damage, but he's still back there in 32nd. James Shamewolf, who was up here at the front, he's back in 29th. So there's a couple guys that were really fast at the beginning, but then they started to fall off after about 20 laps, and then now we're seeing them towards the back. So interested to see if those guys come right back up to the field. I said last time that they had 3 guys in the top 5. It did not bode well for them. So right now, I don't know if I see anybody from JW Racing up. Well, Drew's up here, so yep. Drew's in 4th.
And Matthew Robinson also sitting there in 6th as well, so 2 of them up here now. But the 2 have the hour being Joseph Causey, Tristan Bailey. We might see Joseph try to send it in here for a slide job. Not able to do so as the 88's going to be right to the side. They got to be careful not to lean on each other too much. The 88 wanting to pinch that 42 down, though, as much as he can to avoid him from getting a big run. The 88 holds on and defends that position down the backstretch.
Yeah, Kazi's not going to be able to do anything if Bailey's going to pinch him down like that. So Kazi's going to have to try to make the move a little bit earlier and not give Bailey such a giant warning that he's going to be trying to go low like that. Because all Bailey has to do is just really sit on his side and not allow him to be able to slide up the track whatsoever without running into him. Kazi's not a driver that's going to slide up and hit you like that. So he's going to back out of it, and that's going to allow Bailey just to carry that momentum and go right on back by and not have to worry. And that's the problem with Auto Club is the passing. It can come from a lot of different places, but it takes a little bit of help too. And the rest of the field, you can see the gap now. It's about the same between Kazi and Bailey as it is Kazi and Lautenschlager. So not really a whole lot of draft help right on the back bumper of the 42.
Well, the battle up front kind of cooling off for the time being, but the battle for third is heating up here. Coming to lap number 34, the 89, looking to make a move to the inside of the 99. Craig Lautenschlager. Max Service is trying to move his way up with his Tank Racing teammate. This is the battle we were going to keep our eye on all night, Curtis, for the team championship. They got 2 Tank Racing cars and Joseph Causey, Max Service up here in the top 5. And then we got 2 JW Racing cars sitting there 5th and 6th. That 18-point gap between the two might be shrinking a little bit, might be expanding at this point. I don't know, because they're both running real solid here this evening.
Yeah, I mean, even the Murray Reedy league or team with Bailey being out front. I mean, it's still good for them that they're sitting there in third. They've got a few different drivers right now with Kyle Benson that just got wrecked. Chris Bishop in the 22 is back there in 34th.
Yep.
Tyler Murray, he's back there in 19th. So Bailey needing the rest of his team to maybe come up here and try to help him and get a little bit of a duo going like the rest of these teams seem to have in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, and also want to throw out Ben Park, too. He's sitting in 8th place. So Tank having a great evening. They score the top 3 drivers for your team each week. So Tank would have a very solid run here with 2nd, 4th, and 8th so far, as he's to the outside of the 6. Daniel Bowler trying to creep up even further, bringing Logan Joyner with him. You got Michael Lepicki back there, too, in the 46, having a great run. I'm seeing a lot of green up here towards the front of my SDK software, Curtis, meaning that these are a lot of guys that started further on back are picking up big-time gains.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was saying before with all these guys moving up through the field. I mean, you look at really 4th on back. You got Max Service up 7, Matthew Robinson up 10, Lucas Lyons up 19, Bother up 12, Joyner up 14, De La Rosa up 22, Jovi Ray up 23, and Kyle Speeds up 22. That's all in the top 15. So you got 8 or 9 guys that were not even close to the top 10, and they're all up in the top 10 now. So I don't think they're going to want to give up those positions very easily either. They've worked the strategy, and they've gotten up here, and now we're going to see if those guys that started out front can work their way back up through. And so far, they're really not moving. Shane Wolf's still battling back there in 25th, down 23 positions. So huge fall off for him. So only got 44 laps to go to see if he can make back up his positions.
Yeah, I mean, as you get closer and closer, this is one thing I know for sure in Speed Racing Network. As you get closer and closer to these playoffs, people here in the league will start practicing a lot more, and I think that's what we're seeing here. A lot harder for these guys to pick up these positions after receiving penalties or some kind of issue that puts you further on back in the pack. So right now, like you said, Jacob Manning having a tough time of it getting up there. James Shamewolf as well. We'll keep an eye on them all night. But taking a look right now, Ben Park, Lucas Lyons battling for 7th. Ben going to slide up in front of the 7, and I think Luke is going to cut him some slack here on the exit of 2, put Ben now in the 7th position.
See, now I was going to reference that, towards the playoffs, drivers might, they probably are practicing a lot more, but the give and take might change too. You're getting closer to the playoffs, so you're going to want every point you can possibly get to that top 15, and, you might not let a guy slide up in front of you. Now, Lucas obviously super respectable there and just let Ben slide up in front of him, but there's a lot of guys that probably would not have done that, and we could have seen a caution there. But Lucas, a very, very good driver, and just gracefully let Ben slide right up in front of him. And now Ben making another move, going up past Danny Bother. Actually, Bother just got passed again by Lucas, too.
Ooh, they made contact there down the back stretch. Got real close there. The 6 kind of probably losing a little bit of patience here tonight with that 6 becoming a little bit of a pinball out there, hitting some cars and getting hit back. So Daniel Bowler keeps it going through 3 and 4 to the inside of Lucas Lyons. He's trying to get up to that 8th position, so maybe the 7 starting to fall off a bit here, and still not too much damage, if any, on that 6. So Bowler should be good to go. Lap number 40. We're halfway through this thing. Still plenty of time to go. When do we potentially see that first person come down, though, Curtis? Maybe 10 laps? How long would you like to go on a run to the end?
I mean, if a full fuel run is 30 to 34 or whatever it is, they're at 18 right now. So you're gonna have to go if you want to make it on a two-stop, like we talked about before. That caution kind of put a little bit of a different strategy mixed in here, where you might have guys having to do a touch and go with fuel late in the race, or maybe splitting the leftover laps after they pit this next round. But I would probably, if you're gonna have to do two stops, I would. There's a couple different strategies. You either split it now and take the 40 laps that are left and split it now and pit and try to make up some time on fresher tires, because they are running about 2 seconds slower laps than they are on the fresh tires. So you could pit now, try to gain some more lap time. Those guys are going to have to pit. Then you pit one more time and maybe take rights or take four again, and then hope when those guys do have to take the splash and goes later on that you've made up enough time on those fresh tires.
Seeing Connor Cunningham in the chat saying he would go lap 60. I'm honestly not sure if they can make it to lap 60.
I don't think they can make it to 60.
Yeah, so you got to
That's another 18. That's 38 lap run. I don't think so.
I don't think they can either. So you would have to pick the right time. It's going to be ever so important for your cause to get to the end of this thing and possibly win. Strategy really plays into these things a lot of times. So, hey, look at these guys, though. Kyle Speedy's up to 13th, and that blue and black car back there, that's Aaron Gerwitz. He's battling with Bo Tiffany. These are two drivers that are sitting on that cut line really close to that 15th spot. So this is important battling here. You got Nathan De La Rosa as well. So this is what we're going to focus on here for the time being. This is big time as your cause for the playoffs, and time is running out with 4 weeks left.
Yeah, the other thing with the pit strategy, too, is you don't necessarily want to be first to pit and then everybody else doesn't pit for multiple laps. But you also do not want to be one of the last ones to pit. So you kind of have to judge it and maybe talk to your teammates and say, hey, you know, what is everybody else thinking strategy-wise? Do you want to pit now and then come back one more time, or do you want to run as far as we possibly can and then have to come back in for a splash and go with no tires, something like that? There's a lot of different strategies that can be played. I don't know which one's the right one. We might find out at the end of the night which one, whoever wins, what their strategy was. But I probably, if I'm behind Tristan, I would probably try to pit before Tristan does. I would not let him choose to pit first and then me have to follow him, because you're never going to pass a guy who's really fast if you stay on the same strategy.
We're getting close to that window opening up. Joby Ray not worried about it. That 11 car is hooked up to this track and running really well. He's up in the top 10 now, up 26 on the evening. So currently our butt kicker hard charger of the night, looking good out there in that number 11 for Phoenix Virtual Racing.
And I was worried about Grandma Sue being mad at me, but it looks like Mama Spees is out there in chat too. So now we got Mama and Grandma cheering on Kyle. Kyle's definitely making big moves. I did not want to pick him tonight because I didn't want to jinx him. I picked both Kyles last week and both of them wrecked out. So I did not want to pick him this week. I'm hoping Kyle can clinch us off and finish all the way up at the front. He's up 24 positions, so that's a massive jump. Started almost dead last, and he's all the way up here knocking on the top 10 doors.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The only person that's lost a spot in the top 10 being Drew Ballesteros. He's only lost one. He started tonight on 4th. He's currently running in 5th. Right now, the battle back here, heating up here for 3rd on through 6th. That's Matthew Robinson up in the 51. A huge night for him and his cause to move into the top 15. Looking real good as JW Racing starting to creep back up towards the front.
Yeah, they are coming back up through. Drew's been hovering right there around 4th, 5th, 6th. He's battling with Craig right now with Matthew Robinson and Ben Park. But, yeah, the other guys are starting to make their way. Shane Wolf still sitting back there 29th. Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them that are coming up through here now. But I don't know. I think Tristan's just... I mean, he's on rails. He's got a half-second lead over Kazi. Kazi was really fast at Dover and was able to make a lot of positions and have 0 incidents. So Kazi's not somebody I would sleep on. And Tristan, every race I've seen him run at Auto Club, if he started towards the front, he finishes at the front. So this is a very dangerous territory for the rest of the field with him being out front and leading all these laps and pulling really on the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's wanting to get that first win on the season and really start building the momentum towards
I
week
mean, he
number
needs it.
13. Yeah, I mean, he needs it
He's in
too.
dire situation right now where he needs to have a good run. He's had some bad runs, not on his part really, just gotten caught up, and now he's out front, not having to worry about anything. Just needs to play the strategy right.
Yeah, not in the safest position. Nobody's really safe so far, as nobody has clinched their spot in these playoffs here for season 3. So might start seeing some clinching scenarios next week, but this week still everybody pretty safe. And you see Matthew Robinson now moving into the top 5. Great night for that 51. So yeah, the lead growing for Tristan Bailey up here. He's got a 0.6 of a second gap between him and that 42. Something that 42 is not accustomed to. Someone pulling away from him when he has a great race car, and that's what both of these guys have out here tonight, as well as that 89 in those JW Racing cars rounding out the top 5. So still up for grabs here, and I really think we could start seeing some maybe desperation attempts at taking a short stop here, and I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing some cars come down maybe in 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, we're really close to that window. I mean, we're at 27-lap run. Within the next at least minimum 2 laps before you really start seeing a lot of guys coming down. I mean, we've seen a few come down. Truett came down already. Travis Anderson came down already 10, 13 laps ago. But the rest of the field pretty much is at 27-lap run right now. So I think Kazi, Service, Ballesteros, Robinson, they need to make the move before Bailey does to really try to make up time. Even that one extra lap that Tristan runs, if he's running 2 to 3 seconds slower, which as of right now he's running a 43.614, his fastest lap is a 41.821, so he's almost at 2 seconds slower. If you can make up that 2 seconds, Kazi's only a half second back now. So that 2 seconds, I mean, he'd have a 1.5 lead if he can accomplish it and do it correctly. And you see Jarrett Manning now coming down pit road. That was our guy that was up here fighting for the lead earlier, has fallen to the back with that wreck, and now coming down pit road, we got a few others going to be takers too.
Yep, so him and his teammate Michael Large coming down pit road, and I had to imagine it was going to happen soon. And yeah, they were running back in the mid-20s. They needed to make up some ground on the field, and we'll see if it pays off for those 2 guys. The battle heating up here, though, between Ben Park and Logan Joyner. Ben Park still holding off Logan in that 7th position, but Logan wanting a little more. He's already put plus 16 on the night. He wants to make that plus 17, maybe plus, why not 3 to go all the way up to first. Yeah, Logan looking really good here tonight.
And I mean, I keep seeing that number on the right, or on the left on my screen for Jovi Ray and Kyle Speeds. They've kind of followed each other. Once Kyle got to Jovi, they kind of followed each other back up or through the field. They're both sitting at plus 26. That's a huge number, Greg. I mean, 26 positions in the race that you're up, and it's not like we've had a ton of cautions. We've only had 1, so they're both making passes, and they're both not making them, immediately as soon as we go green on a restart. They're just slowly, steadily making their passes. They've conserved enough tire at the beginning of the run, and then they're, eating people's lunch after the tires start wearing off. So these guys have moved up in the top. I'm just going to say top 10 since Kyle's right there at 11th. But I'd be watching for these guys if we keep going green here, because they're making up a lot of time on the guys who are really burning off their tires.
Well, some guys making up some time on our leaders right now. Pretty much everybody is. Tristan's kind of falling off the pace. And you see the 42, the 89 starting to creep up to the back bumper of that 88. So might be running out of tire. You could be seeing that 88 come down anytime now potentially and make his final pit stop on the night. But so far holding on to that lead as Joseph Causey just really getting through the corners a lot better.
Now, see, I would not make the pass on Tristan right now. I would get as close as possible and then duck down pit road without giving Tristan a chance. I would let him, not show that he's going to pit road. He'll stay out, and I would duck in. You're already close enough. Go get the fresh tires. Run that extra lap that's 2 seconds faster than his with him running 1 extra lap. That's the gap that Causey needs. So if I was Causey, Service, Ballesteros, Robinson right now, that are all within that 2 second window, I would be going. And there's Craig going down now.
Yep, Craig, Logan Joyner, Dave Fuge Jr., and Lucas Lyons all coming down pit road this time to get 4 tires and fuel to get them to the end. and the rest of the leaders still staying out and biding their time before they come on down. The 36, one of those guys who's already pitted here, or excuse me, that's the 35 of Josh Marcy. And actually, no, he's just really off the pace, unfortunately, not having a good night in that 35. He's a lap down now, and we'll see if we have any takers this time as they come off of 4. Not looking like we will out of this group of cars coming to the stripe to start lap 55.
Yeah, and Greg, on the flip side of what I was saying about Kazi trying to make that choice before Bailey does, Bailey's looking in the mirror going, I got to make this choice before him. I don't want to give him too much time, so I want to be a little bit lower on the corner and then just duck in. And Kazi's going to have to really hard brake. If he can't get slowed down enough, he might get a penalty. He might spin out. Hopefully he doesn't run into the back of Bailey. But that they're doing a tug of war right now on who can actually choose to go first. Whoever chooses to go first is probably going to come back out with a lead. So this is where these two are probably looking in the mirror at each other going, are you going? Am I going? And I think Kazi's coming. Smart move by Kazi. He did not give it away.
Yeah.
Bailey was still up the track and did not have time to come down.
I'm really worried about this 42. He tried to get everything he could coming onto pit road right there, and I kept saying it this week. One of the more dangerous pit roads as that pit cone stands out a little bit from that pit wall. It can kind of catch you sometimes coming down, so I'm curious to see if the 42 got it down to speed and gets a clean stop. If so, I think he might come out in the lead with how well he got on there.
Yeah, I'm not I'm trying to pay attention to his pit stop. I'm not seeing anything popping up saying that he got a penalty or nothing, but
here comes Tristan Bailey.
But I mean, even that one lap, Tristan just ran a 43.8. So if Kazi can come right out and run a 41, that's 2 seconds he gained.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. That's exactly what I was saying too earlier, and you're right. It's just this big a track can kill you if you get beat on that strategy, and you're right. Kazi coming down first could be beneficial.
Oh, and Kazi had a 10.6 second stop. How is that possible? Wait a minute. Is Kazi on track?
No, I'm seeing a 14.45 second stop for Kazi on my end. He looks like he took 4 tires of fuel.
It's weird. Mine says 10.6. Which would be an extremely fast 4-tire stop. Maybe that's the next-gen tire stop.
Yeah, maybe with
right
the
there.
one lug, so maybe. But Max Service coming down pit road now. That's going to cycle the lead over to the 77 of Seth Berger, who's already got one of those bonus points tonight, but he stayed out a little bit longer, came down after everybody when he did just that, and can stay out and might be pitting this time. He's got to be careful not to run it out of fuel if he's maybe pushing it a little tight. Still seeing these guys down on pit road as the leaders running them down. Max Service comes off, gets a clean exit out of his stall, and he's on his way. And we're going to see Seth Berger come on down pit road this time. And only a few guys left. Got Besaw, Anderson, and the rest have pitted. Besaw going to come down after a great run at Dover last night. And Travis Anderson, we'll see if he ends up coming down as well. But lead going to cycle out to this man when they do just that. Kazi gets the lead after this round of pit stops. Craig Lotslager going to cycle out to second, and Logan Joyner out in third. So Tristan Bailey going to fall all the way from first to fourth. Not getting all he could there, I guess, on pit entry. Really hurt the 88 after we saw the 42 just kill it coming down pit road.
I'm trying to wait for him to cycle through to see how much of a gap, if he got the 2 seconds or if he got a little bit more. I think he probably gained a little bit more with the way he really cooked it into the pit road, and Tristan was a little bit more safer going in there. So that little bit of time extra and the quicker pit stop and the extra lap that Tristan ran definitely is going to help Kazi come out on top on this one. I think he's going to be about a 3-second lead over Bailey, or at least between those two. There's some guys in between them, but just watching just specifically those two, I think there's going to be about a 3 to 4 second gap now.
Well, Travis Anderson comes down pit road. That will hand the lead over to Joseph Kazi. Gets his first lap led of the night. Kind of crazy to think with 21 laps to go, but right in the position he needs to be to come away with another win here tonight. That would pretty much be 3 straight in, 3 races that he's been in, I think, if my math suits me. But, he's got a 0.6 of a second lead over that orange car back there in second, the 99 of Craig Lautenschlager, and then followed closely by the 3 of Logan Joyner. So the top 3 all within 1 second of each other. But then Tristan Bailey, 3 seconds back, and that's exactly what you were alluding to, Curtis. Lost a lot of time.
That 2 seconds on that lap, plus he gained about a second between entrance, exit, and actual pit road stop. So there's the 3 seconds. Now Tristan's really got to work to get back up there. Tristan's been really fast. He's running about a tenth faster than Kazi was for best lap. That lap right there, Bailey ran a 42.136. Kazi ran a 42.206. So not a huge difference there, but 7/100 does add up after several laps.
Yeah, so he's got to be careful not to push it too hard, trying to make his way back up to the front. Someone pushing hard right now, though, is Drew Ballesteros to the inside of Daniel Bowdler, trying to pick up that 5th position from Mr. Bowdler. And the 54 has 1 lap fresher tires here than the 6, and he is drag racing him all the way down into turn 1. Might try to pull the slide job here. Sends it in there, and the 54 will clear the 6.
Yeah, I think Kazi, if this goes green, I don't know if Tristan can make up that much time. They're running almost identical times right there. 42.140 and a 42.140 and a 42.296, so 1/10. I don't think he's going to make that up in 18 laps.
Yeah, I don't know if he can either, but anything can happen. This thing has been green from the drop, and I kind of predicted that. We talked about it before the race, Curtis, and I was like, this thing's either going to be a caution fest or it's going to go green the whole time. It's not going to be 1 or 2 cautions. These guys doing just that here. 62 laps, good to good so far, as Max Service takes a look to the inside of his teammate, Ben Park. Move Max up to 8th now after coming out a little bit further back, staying a little later out there on the tracks from some of these guys, but so far the speed showing up and the difference in tires, and the 89 up to 8th. So Matthew Robinson going to take a look to the outside now. The 23, man, Ben Park really not showing the pace here on this last run. He's back in the 10th position now.
Yeah, I was trying to see who the lap down car is that's pushing Kazi in that 2 car. That's Zach Duscher right there, so I'm trying to see. I don't think they're on the same team. I'm pretty sure Duscher's part of Bar Racing.
Yep.
But he's giving him a good shot, and Craig is not able to make up time. He's actually falling off a little bit, and with that draft, it's really going to push Kazi away from him. Even Craig doesn't have a whole lot of help behind him. He's got 1 driver, but the tube was like on the back bumper of Kazi, pushing him down the straightaways. So definitely some assistance to Kazi there. They might have an alliance, I'm not sure about, but the rest of the field, I mean, we're still seeing a lot of guys coming up through the field still. Spies, De La Rosa, Lions, they're all kind of hovering right there in the 15 to 10 range. Jovi made up a lot of time on pit road as well, up 29 positions. That's a huge jump. Bodler's up 15, Joyner up 21, sitting in 3rd. So huge jumps from guys that started in the very, very back of this race.
Yeah, it's not a bad play by Deutscher to sit right behind our leader, though, even though they're not on the same team. We'll just keep them, as the first car a lap down if the 42 does, in fact, start to lap some guys. And Travis Anderson not too far ahead of them. So, Deutscher might be playing a good strategy here. Doesn't want to get too racy with the leader, but still hanging in there in case we do see a caution here tonight. So 15 laps to go. The lead is 1 second between Kazi and Lautenschlager. And the battle's starting to heat up here as Max Service is starting to work his way back up through the field. Now up in the 7th position as he's getting on by the 11 here of Jovi Ray, but not going to be able to clear him. It's a drag race down the backstretch.
Yeah, and Tristan Bailey's made up a second, so he's coming a little bit here. But I mean, we're closing in on 14 to go here. It's going to take a little bit more than what Tristan's got going on right now. I mean, 1.7, 1.8 seconds back. He's got a good group right in front of him, 3 cars. If he can catch or push the guy in front of him to Craig, if he can push Logan up to Craig, they'll have 3. But actually, never mind. Bailey's going to go by Joyner now. So I mean, he's still coming. He's running really fast laps. He's running about 2/10 faster than the leader of Kazi, who has the 2 pushing him for a lot of the straightaways.
Yeah, so this is the look on board of that 88. And taking a look at the lap times, like you alluded to, he is chipping away at it here and there, some more laps than other. And 2/10 on that last lap. We'll keep this graphic up just to see the difference this time. He is picking up some time. It's going to be really close. I think he might get close enough, Curtis, to potentially get into the draft of these
He can get
leaders.
to him, but passing is going to be the difficult part.
Yeah, well, he's got to make
this late in a run.
Yeah, he's got to make quick work of this 99 right here, who is in second. So this is the battle for second place right here. As the 88 makes the move, it's going to need to clear him real quick and set his sights on the 42.
I mean, there's still a pretty good gap, though, between the 88 and this 2 car that is pushing the 42. He's giving him a lot of room in the corners. He's not staying on his back bumper in the corners, but on the straightaways, he's really trying to suck up to that back bumper and give him a push. And Bailey's already starting to pull away from the 99, who is now being passed by Joyner.
Yeah, Andrew Ballesteros down there on the inside as well. He's making that track as short as he possibly can. This is the battle for the final podium position. Oh, Logan Joyner almost make contact. They keep it going, but Ballesteros goes right on by both of them.
Hurt the 99 bad.
Yeah, move the 54 up in third. Bowdler now getting into the mix too. This thing heating up, and that lead slipping away from Causey down to 1.6 over Tristan Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close here. We're at 11, 12 to go. It's closing. I don't know if Joyner and Ballesteros, who's running pretty fast laps, if they can hook on to Tristan and really draft with him and push him up there, and Bailey can get the hold of the 2 cars draft. That's going to be the problem for Kazi. Is yes, the 2 is helping him on the straightaways, but if Bailey can get a snip of his draft, it's going to help pull that entire group of 88, 3, 99, and 6 all right up against Kazi. And I don't know if Kazi wants to battle 4 cars coming down to the end. I think he would rather keep that lap down car between them.
Yeah, and you got that lap car, like you said, Zach Deutscher, who, he's just going to have to potentially let Tristan go on by. He doesn't need to battle the 88. Not too many people in the way of the 42, so I don't think the 2 is going to lose any ground as far as the lucky dog goes. But, yeah, the battle still heating up back here from 4th on back to 7th. That's Craig Lautenslager back there in 7th place now. Bowdler up to 4th. Logan Joyner 5th. And then here comes Max Service still back up to 6th. He wants to get a top 5 here tonight for that 89.
Well, something else I'm looking at, too, and I hope I don't see this, but it could happen. We've seen it in real NASCAR. There is a teammate of Bailey's out in front of this leader that is potentially going to be a lap down car. He's the last car on the lead lap. Does the 48 help his teammate by maybe trying to battle to stay on the lead lap with closing laps? Does he help his teammate and try to battle the leader and let Bailey close in even more? Or does he move completely out of the way?
Hey, you have every right to hold on and try and battle for that lead lap, but that lead down to 9/10 of a second. That was a great lap there. The last 2 laps picked up 3.5 tenths there on lap 70 and almost another 2 tenths on lap 71. That 80 up is really fast, and he's going to be there in a couple laps.
Yeah, he's closing in on the 2's draft if he doesn't have it already. And the 2 is kind of falling off of the 42. He's out of the way completely. So Bailey's going to be able to go, he's going to suck right to the 2 and then go right underneath him here as he goes through the corners. And that's going to allow him to then be pushed by the 2 to get closer to that 42. And we could have a last lap pass here. We've got 7 or 8 to go now. Bailey's made up a ton of time. He was down 3 seconds. He closed into almost right at a half second now, and he's still gaining. I mean, he's running 2 tenths faster every single lap, but he pitted 1 lap after Kazi.
Yeah, he picked up another 2.5 tenths right there, a quarter of a second, chopped down 6 tenths.
I'm wondering if Kazi is saving tire.
I don't know.
So that he can battle him.
I don't know, but he is certainly not going to let Tristan just go right on by. It's going to be a tough battle for the 88 to get on by and claim his first win of the season. But coming back to the stripe, take 7 laps to go. The gap going to be down to a half second.
I mean, even if Bailey doesn't get by the 42, second place is still a great finish. I mean, that's what I was saying about the wins Yeah, they're awesome. They're great. I don't have a win myself in an iRacing league, but the top 10 to me is even better or not even better, but better, not better, just as good for the top 10. Those points are what's mattering for the standings, and Bailey's sitting on the outside of the points for the top 15, sitting on the outside for the power rankings. A second place finish here will definitely help him move towards that goal of being in the top 15 for points.
Big picture wise, you're exactly right, but he's got an eye on a prize. He knows he's got a bad hot rod out here, and like I told Brandon yesterday, these
so
things
close.
just do not come up every weekend, so you got to take a hold of that opportunity when you can, and I think Tristan will try and do just that. 6 laps to go, the 88 getting ever so close.
We mentioned how hard it is to make that pass. You can get underneath somebody, but you have to clear them and hope that it doesn't drag your tires enough to where it slows you down to where then that car crosses you over. We saw it earlier. Bailey made a crossover on the 50 and flew right back by him. So this is where it's going to get interesting. We've both known Bailey for a very long time now. Does Bailey move Kazi if we get to the last lap?
Absolutely.
And he's on the back bumper? I would say so too. I was not going to hesitate myself.
You know this 42 has had great runs here, is really running well this season. You do not take any feelings into this. This is a battle for the win here tonight, and that 88 has the opportunity to move that 42. He's going to do just that. So
I hope he moves him cleanly, though.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. He's going to do it, I think. But he might not even need to, down to 15 100ths of a second, being that gap between the 42 and the 88. He's going to be right there and looking for the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I hope he does it cleanly. I hope he just gives him a little bit of bump, moves him up out of the groove, and then goes by him. But you always gotta remember too, Kazi, if he doesn't fall out of that draft and Bailey does it too early, he could always come right back and do the same thing to him. And that crossover does work too, so that Bailey, if he goes underneath him and Kazi carries the momentum, he could come right back by Bailey and give him a bump.
4 laps to go. You're looking at the battle for the lead. Some lap cars, like you said, potentially coming up into the mix. This is Travis Anderson, James Shanewolf in here, and Taylor Smith. So some cars might be playing a role here in who potentially comes away with it as they head down into turn 3.
Yeah, I know those guys are pretty much battling for position right there. Travis, James, Taylor, they're all on the lead lap, but they're all battling for 34th, 35th, and 36th. I hope they don't play a part, but the draft can definitely help one of the two or both. And if those cars are too wide, like right now, we look out front, the 48 is underneath Shane Wolf right now. So those guys keep switching positions and going too wide, now almost 3 wide as they come off the corner. Ooh. That is not going to be good for the leaders coming up.
This is close. He gets to the outside of him on the exit of turn 2. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Kazi going to have to really send it in here to clear the 88, but I don't think Tristan's going to let him do that here. Oh, he's going to have to slide up and block the 88's momentum out of turn 4. We're going to see a slide job. He's coming up in front of him. We might see a crossover from the 88 too. No, Kazi holds on to it. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, that was close. I was wondering if Kazi was going to be able to make it, and if Bailey would even let him try to slide up in front of him and not touch him a little bit. But
might have been a trial run by the 88. Could be just trying him out, seeing if that move's going to work now as you got Josh Marcy to the outside. That's going to kill the momentum, I think, a little bit of that 42, but nowhere for the 88 to go. He goes down low. He gets the look to the inside, heading into turn 3. It's a battle side by side for the lead.
He's got to pinch him more. He's got to pinch him down so the 88 can't slide up.
Yeah, he's going to come up. They're going to be real close on the exit of 4. Drag race door banging to the line. 1 lap to go. It's waving here in Fontana.
Now here's where Kazi needs to creep down and pinch the 88 down before they go into the corner.
Oh,
and there
they make contact.
Them.
They're going to wreck each other potentially here. They both keep it going.
They saved it.
Kazi hanging on to the lead. Looks like Tristan, though, might get a run out of turn 2. It's a drag race back down the backstretch.
That was close. Both of them, we could have had 2 leaders being taken out.
Here comes the bumper here. Yeah, he
turns him.
Yeah, he completely sends it in there. Turns the 42. Move Tristan Bailey up in the first. He's going to come away with it off the 4. Drew Ballesteros can't catch him. It's going to go to the 88. He wins here tonight.
It's going to be an interesting conversation. Joseph Kazi falling all the way to 9th, so not a good ending for Joseph. I saw some chatter going across there as he got turned, so I'm sure there was some words said between those two, but Bailey collecting his first win of the season. Kind of controversial if you want to look at it like that. A lot of people looking at last week with Joey Logano shoving Byron out of the way at Darlington. Not quite the same, but pretty close. He turned him, so.
Yeah, I mean, all is fair in love and war, I guess. And, unfortunately for Kazi, not going to end the way he wanted to. But here's Tristan Bailey with his win here, his first win of the season. We kind of saw that coming, even though, it kind of sent the 42 spinning around there and coming home in 9th place. So not, Curtis, I'm not upset that we unfortunately don't get to talk to Kazi tonight. I don't think he would be really wanting to talk too much right now.
Yeah, probably not. Probably wouldn't be a clean interview right there. At least if it was me, I'd not be happy. But, I mean, it was on the last lap.
He knew it was coming.
Corners. I mean, they were kind of throwing blocks. I mean, he almost got turned once by the 88 in the previous corner. Was able to save it, both of them able to save it, and then the 88 got that massive run, and then just kind of hooked him and turned him around. So, I mean, a win's a win. It kind of depends on how. If you can go home and lay your head down and be happy with it, then you're good.
If you can sleep with it at the end of the day, like you said, and live with it, go for it. And Tristan Bailey did, and it pays off for him. Gets his first dub of the season. And it could be big towards these playoffs here. Bonus points and everything going to play into it big time once we get started here. And he is just burning it down on the front stretch. So Tristan Bailey comes away with it on a last lap pass here. And that one might be making an appearance in the top 10 finishes here next week that I have for everybody out there. So that's it for the Xfinity Series TJ's team winning a moment. Before we get to this next round of commercials, Curtis, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break since we weren't even unable to do so here tonight. So we will be right back with post-race interviews.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacktacks.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, let's go ahead, get on with the post-race interviews and bring up Max Service. Max, it's Greg Olenek, Curtis Wadsworth here in the SRN broadcast booth. Congrats on a great run here tonight. You've had a solid season so far, but this is probably your best run so far at the midway point in the season. Tell us about the run here tonight in that 89.
Yeah, it feels really good. Just didn't have the short run. I think that's what really hurt me all day. Just trying to get more spots. Had to pass a lot of cars all race, and to get to the front. And by then the tires are shot, and you can't make passes. Everybody fought really, really, really hard up through that top five, just trying to get up to where I ended up. And quite honestly, at the end, I was trying so hard to get Drew. I don't think I could have done much more other than maybe pit a lap earlier and just try to not lose so much time to begin with. Had to pass so many cars there again.
Max, you started 11th tonight, so up 8 positions. I mean, you worked your way through. Was there any pit strategies thinking or anything like that?
Usually the strategy is, I'm used to running 100% fuel and everything. So usually the strategy is go as long as you can and just stretch it out, and the tires on the long run will pay off. And well, I did that. I ran it out dry, and then just should have came a lap earlier. Not used to it. I'm looking at it. I'm like 20 to go, and I'm running 8th. I'm like, I don't think I can get to 3rd. And then we just started clicking off spots one by one, flying through there on tires, and almost got to what would have been 3rd if Kazi didn't get spun for the lead there on the last lap.
Well, Max, great run here tonight. Come home in 3rd place. Great to see you run up here tonight. But before we let you go, celebrate with the teammates on a successful night. You got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, as you guys know, we got a little bit of a laundry list here at Tank Racing. But I got to shout out Bergeson Farms, of course. They're on the hood of my car. Zach wasn't lying about that 10% speed boost it adds. And then Boss Security, Burgers, Kieran Dental, Hunterdon Anesthesia, Park Brothers Racing, Parkway Lanes, Teespring, Healthcare Billing Incorporated, and EWRL for making this happen for us.
Awesome, man. Well, we love seeing you out here, and we'll see you next week when we get to Las Vegas, 3 weeks before we start the playoffs, man. Good luck next week, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good luck to you guys, too.
All right, thanks, buddy. Well, that was Max Service coming home in the 3rd position tonight. Great run for him. Let's go ahead now, move on to Drew Ballesteros, bring him up into the booth, pick his brain a little bit after a great run in that 54. Congrats on the 2nd place finish, Drew. Tell us about that run, and specifically, tell me how big your eyes were when you saw the top 2 battling as hard as they were.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. I saw him start beating and banging going into turn 1 on that last lap, but at the same time I was trying to just maintain my position because Max was coming in with fresher tires. So it was kind of a catch-22. Didn't know what I was supposed to do there, but yeah, fortunately it came just short of the win. But overall, really proud of this team, proud of what we were able to do, and yeah, get that 2nd place finish.
Well, Drew, nobody picked any drivers from JW Racing, so you being the lone JW Racing up here in the top 3, you guys all started up here, though. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 3 teams battling it out for the team championships. 1 driver from each team finished up here in the top 3, so big moves by you guys trying to equal out with being out front of this team standings. But you started 4th tonight, finished 2nd, looked really fast there with passing the 50 early on in the race and trying to get by the 88, but the 88 was too strong. What did you need in that car to get past the 88?
I think if it was just he and I towards the end, I think I could have caught him if I had a little bit more time. I think he caught the draft coming with like 5 laps to go, so he caught the draft, and I was trying to just maintain speed, so he was able to put some distance on me. But I know I had fresher tires, and I was catching him until he caught that. But yeah, overall, for just high level for the evening, I just needed a consistent night. It's been a rough couple weeks, so just need to stop the bleeding. And but yeah, to walk out of here with a 2nd place finish, 0x, yeah, really proud of that.
Well, Drew, before we let you go and celebrate with the teammates tonight, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, thanks to all the friends and family who are watching at home. Thanks to Rogue Energy, who allows us to go out here every week and put on a good show. Maxon Industries Incorporated, Mirror Mechanical, Route 2 Sport, MMA, and Saloon Door Sports. And thanks to you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules to put on this broadcast each and every week. It's a lot of fun. And thanks to Justin Rideout and the rest of the team for putting in all the work to allow us to go out and race each and every Thursday. So, yeah, we'll move on, go on to the next race, and get ourselves ready for the championship.
All right, bud. Well, we'll see you out in Las Vegas, and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, that was Drew Ballesteros coming home in P number 2 tonight. Let's go ahead and move on to the man of the hour, bring up Tristan Bailey, getting his first win of the season. Tristan, it's Greg Olenek and Curtis Swansworth up here in the booth. Congrats on the big win. Had to make a big move at the end there to get the win. Tell me about it from your perspective.
First off, I just want to say I'm sorry. That wasn't clean, and I'd rather it been clean. I was coming to nose and nose at the line, but I don't know. It was just we touched going into 1 and 2, and I final lap. I was trying to get more arc in the corner. I didn't know if he was like right there on my door or up a little further, and I turned right. We touched a little bit. So glad we didn't wreck it in that corner. And then going in 3 and 4, I was like, well, if I go underneath them here, I have a shot, but he's going to have to run off the top. And I got a run on him finally from the draft going down the backstretch. And I finally stuck my nose up underneath him. I think he tried to block, or I don't know if he was trying to enter the corner there or not. And accidentally spun him, which I didn't want to win that way. But, I mean, I was kind of there, so that's the only thing I can say. The only thing I can say to defend myself.
Well, Tristan, Greg and I have known you for a very long time, and both of us kind of talked about it. You know, if you were able to catch him, we didn't hesitate to think that you would give him the bump to get this win. But I see what you're saying. You definitely tried to arc it into turn 1. He was a little bit on your outside. You guys came together, and both of you had, I mean, tremendous saves going into turn 1. And then yeah, going into 3 and 4, it looked like he thought maybe you were going, like it looked like you were going to go down to the line, and I think he saw you flinch to go down there, and then you kind of stayed in your line because you moved up the track to get that arc, and I think he tried to go down there with you and just went before you did and crossed right over your front bumper. But a win's a win. I don't see any issue with it on the last lap. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was a little bit cleaner, but I mean, you can't control what his car is doing either. So, big win for you. You're sitting outside of the points and the power rankings. This should definitely help you. Greg, I believe, picked you to win the race. So, that broadcaster curse that all these guys keep talking about, and
so that's why I almost lost the race to begin with, Greg. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, almost does not count. My grandfather always said almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And guess what? Tonight you won because Greg picked you. So now next week we'll go into the chat and see who says pick me, pick me.
It won't be me.
Well, Tristan, you get
just got picked and won.
Yeah. Well, tell us what this win does for you, though, overall. Forget about all the stuff that might come out of this later, but, you needed the big win. Very tight standings here in the Xfinity Series. What's it feel like to kind of give yourself a little bit more cushion heading into these final 3 weeks?
I don't know. I kind of boned myself last week. Ran out of fuel as entering pit road, and the car got sideways, and it wouldn't crank back up, so I couldn't make it back to my pit stall. So that's what happened to me last week. And then I'm kind of glad. I still don't understand how, but I still somehow am fast at this track. I don't know why. So this is like, I hope if any Xfinity League I run, they go here just to see if who all I can compare with and everything, and just glad to come here and get a win tonight. I really needed that in this season. Still winless till tonight.
Every time I've seen Tristan run at this track, he's been consistently fast. Actually, I think the last 2 times I've seen you run Auto Club, you've won. So this would be the 3rd time I've seen you run this track and win. Very good track for you. I would probably try to push for Auto Club every race if that's possible for you.
Well, we'll see how Las Vegas does for you next week. But before we get there, Tristan, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Of course, my team, Murray Benson, Tyler Murray, and what's his name? Travis Anderson and Chris Bishop, and then
Travis is gonna hear that.
and then the pediatric cancer stuff he does for little kids with cancer, try to help them out the best they can while they go through that tough time in life. And then just you guys for broadcasting, man.
Oh, we appreciate it, Tristan. Man, pick your head up. You're a winner here this season. Get it going now towards the playoffs and make another run for it. A Final 5 driver last season battled it out with me in that last race. I expect to see you there at Homestead. So congrats again, man. Have a good one, and we'll see you out in Vegas.
Thank you, man. You have a nice night.
All right, so that was Tristan Bailey coming home. P number 1 tonight. Might be a little bit of a divisive win, but nonetheless, like we keep saying, Curtis, it's a win.
Yeah, I mean, a win's a win. So that's what shows up in the standings, and he'll have that checker flag next to his name now. I think he's sitting 7th in the points as of right now. So definitely a good night for him. That like he said, that's what he needed. We talked about it the pre-race show. That's what Tristan needed for tonight. We talked about a few different drivers that needed it, and there was a few guys that we haven't seen be consistently up in the top 10, and they were there tonight. I mean, you picked the 88, and he was out front most of the night with Kazi, who was my other driver that I picked with Seth Berger too. So Kazi obviously not finishing up at the front with that move, but I think we can throw that commentator curse out the window, Greg.
Yeah, well, racers do not forget. We know that for sure. We're going to see that probably receipt turned in and cashed for William Byron and Joey Logano that we saw at Darlington, and I think we might potentially see the same with Joseph Kazi. He won't forget, but I know Joseph, knowing that's a racing move, just didn't play out for the 42. But your winner here, this beautiful number 88 painted with the American flag, comes home in first for Murray Reedy Motorsports. That's going to do it for us here, though, tonight. We're going to be out in the desert, Sin City, Las Vegas Motor Speedway next week for week number 11. We'll be on air at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to have a little bit of an extended pre-race show. So come on down. Just make sure you like the page. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell, too, so you know exactly when we go live. You can join us right here on Speed Racing Network. So from myself, for Curtis Swatsworth, and everybody behind the scenes here at SRN, we wish you guys a good night and go faster.